Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. As Jennifer said, my name is Kishore Bamadipati. I'm Director of Product Marketing at NetSuite. And the topic today is driving growth with a cloud-based ERP suite. The flow for the session today is going to be as follows. With me, as you see, I have my colleague Larry McMahon, who is in the Solutions Consulting organization at NetSuite. And I'm going to start things off by giving you a quick overview of what we think are the key drivers to consider a cloud-based ERP system, give you an overview of NetSuite, the company, and our product. And then I'll try to spend no more than 10 minutes doing that, and then turn things over to Larry, who is actually going to walk you through the product itself. So you get a demo of a live product, and when Larry wraps up the demo, we go into a quick Q&A session, as Jennifer said. So with that said, let's get going. So we think there are three key drivers, right? Not one, as it is suggested. We think that there are three key drivers which prompt users to consider a cloud-based ERP system. First and foremost, it's faster, cheaper, and better than an on-premise ERP system. I'll talk to you in the next slide or two on exactly how it is so. Second is we believe that a suite-based solution can grow with your business as you grow, because small businesses, the whole idea is not to remain small. You want to grow. And what happens to your ERP system? Is it able to keep pace with your business growth? Is a big question that a lot of people have. And a suite-based solution which can grow with your business is a lot more efficient and cost-effective than taking what is called the best-of-breed approach. And I'll talk a couple of slides on that as well. And the third most important driver is cloud-based ERP actually accelerates growth. And we'll talk about that as well, right? So with that said, let's now look at NetSuite, the company. So NetSuite is a company which has been founded back in 1998. It's now a publicly traded company, traded on New York Stock Exchange for the last 6 years or so. We have offices in 10 countries, growing very fast, over 2,000 employees, and a $300+ million revenue in the fiscal year 2012. And as you can see, I'm not going to go through every single bullet point and logo or icon here, but it has been recognized as one of the fastest growing top 10 ERP company. It's one of the world's most deployed cloud ERP, used by more than 16,000 organizations around the world. And the most interesting thing that would catch your attention is NetSuite, we run our entire companies from sales to customer relationship management, marketing, everything on our own platform on NetSuite. So that gives you a pretty good idea. And we've been using this for the last several years. So it's basically an example to demonstrate clearly when I said it's a solution that grows with your business and allows your business to grow quickly as well, right? And there are several brand name companies that you can see that are in growth stage who are using us, and our product and company has already also been recognized consistently for the last several years with industry awards from analysts and as well as publications such as Forbes, Gartner, Cody Awards, whatnot, right? So let me first delve into the first driver that I had mentioned, which is why should you consider a suite? One of the ideas that I suggested was that you could otherwise end up in what we call a legacy application hairball. Consider a scenario where each department or each line of business within your company uses their favorite solution. Salesforce automation is done through Salesforce.com. You do in accounting in Microsoft Dynamics, use Microsoft Access for support, so on and so forth. And each department has their own little island of information or data, and all of a sudden, as the company grows, each department starts buying their own piece of favorite solution. And what you have is a situation where you need to reconcile information, like the information that you have in your sales database, for example, with respect to a customer has to be reconciled with your CRM system, which is completely a different beast altogether. The revenue recognition is being done by something else altogether. So what you recognize is as you grow, you quickly have these little island or siloed systems, as I would call them, proliferate across your company, and you end up with having a huge legacy applications hairball, as I would call it, and you're really depending on something like an Excel to export and import data into and out of each of these systems. As a result, you lose the real-time visibility and all the benefits that you would expect it to get from each of these individual solutions. So that's one piece of it. The other piece is there is a lot of other disadvantages, as I would say, with respect to managing an on-premise ERP. First and foremost, and this is not something that we say, it's said by an industry analyst like Forrester, first, it's expensive to maintain. The cost of maintenance itself runs about 500% of the license fee. Second, most of the customers who are using an on-premise version of on-premise ERP solution, they are still using a version that is at least 2 versions behind what the latest and greatest is offered by any of these vendors. Again, 66% on non-current version, right? And that's being said by another analyst group. As a result of having the on-premise ERP system, you spend a lot of your time, money, and resources on making sure that this system is running smoothly enough to make sure your business data is clean and consistent and secure. As a result, you're spending 91% of your budget on just maintenance, right? Which means you have very, very little money left for any kind of an innovation in your company. This is all IT budget, not just your ERP, right? Finally, we just talked about this. You have data fragmented all over the place, and that simply leads to this hairball situation, which we just talked about a minute ago, and that doesn't lead to any level of efficiency whatsoever. So we think a cloud-based ERP system is really the way to go. And here are a couple of benefits, or 5, 6 different benefits that you can really take away when you think about a cloud-based system. Because it's a multi-tenant system, multiple customers are using a single instance, you know for a fact there is only one release of the software available for every customer at any given time, which means there is no question of being logged up into an older version of the software. The system itself is being maintained by a company, by the vendor himself, which means that, and there are thousands of customers potentially on a SaaS solution, so you are guaranteed to get world-class data center security protection, right? You get automatic upgrades, which means your IT staff is freed up to do other internal projects. You get the upgrades. You are made aware of when the upgrades are going to come, so you're prepared for it, but you don't have to physically dedicate time or resources to do the update yourself. Because this is accessible from a browser, you can access this from any solution, any kind of a device, and on whether it's a desktop browser or any mobile device like an iPhone or iPad or what have you, right? You have a speed of deployment is very quick. Once you decide to go a cloud-based solution, it doesn't take months or years in some cases of well-known large-scale ERP systems to deploy, right? And most importantly, you do not spend a whole lot of money out of your budget up front. Because it has a subscription-based fee structure, you convert all of your, you eliminate almost all of your capital expenditure and convert it into what is called operational expenditure, which means you know year to year how much you're going to spend. There are no surprises, right? And it frees up your budget to do other projects up front. So we think a modern ERP, in addition to being deployed on a cloud-based system which has its own its own benefits, a modern ERP also integrates the business, right? I mean, no company or no organization does only financial management, does only inventory management, does only marketing automation, does only customer relationship management or web store management or services automation and so forth. Each one of these goals has to be met by any given company, and all of these have data that has to be shared across these different functions. So NetSuite is a company that provides a solution which really integrates all these different functions in a single suite. And the most important thing to take away from this is we have a single data source which our ERP system, the CRM system, the e-commerce system, and the professional services automation system all leverage. It means there is no duplication of data. There is no loss of accuracy of data. There is no redundancy, right? So that's what makes a suite-based solution so much more attractive, because it integrates the business rather than fragment it, right? So as a result, the various stakeholders within your company, whether it's your CEO, CFO, sales department, shipping, inventory manager, whoever it is, they get a specific role-based view into the data in the manner that is most appropriate for them. You give a role-based access to the data, to the single source data source, so that they get the information that they need to make the decision that they are about to make or take the action that they need to take. Not only that, you can also expose this same data to your external stakeholders, whether it's your customers, your vendors, or your partners. And that's what is the beauty of having a suite-based solution. And instead of having a hairball of 20 different solutions, which each one of does one specific thing, you have a suite which all of the components from the suite read through the single data source, enables you to publish, to share this information inside and outside your company in a seamless way and a secure way by providing role-based access to the data, right? Now, as I just described, NetSuite is an end-to-end business suite which allows you to do everything in one single application, but it is also a product that is ready to support a business going global, which means that it's ready for access in several different languages across several different countries. We have incorporated support for lots of different tax jurisdictions, currencies, languages, whatnot, and that's the product called NetSuite One World, which is basically the product that is to support global growth when you get to that stage in your company. And it is obviously, all of this is powered by an enterprise-scale cloud infrastructure. We provide guaranteed uptime of over 99.5% anytime. We provide guaranteed disaster recovery. We provide the highest levels of security that are expected of any large-scale cloud deployment. So that is what NetSuite One World brings to the table. And so to wrap it, I just want to bring home these few numbers which are published not by us but by external research organizations such as Nucleus Research, SMB Group, and some of the customer case studies that we've done, where you see the proofs in the pudding, as they say, and here are some of the benefits that our customers or our analysts have observed in terms of taking a suite-based approach, a cloud-based, suite-based approach to an ERP solution, right? A couple of them, for example, reduction in financial closing time and cost. Improvement in DSO is 10 to 20%. You have more than 50% reduction in IT costs rather than if you chose to go an on-premise route. So there are all these benefits that I think make a cloud-based ERP suite system as an extremely attractive proposition, especially to smaller companies who are looking to grow rapidly and who want to take advantage of a product or a suite that grows along with them, and it allows them to grow faster by enabling them to save money from investing on infrastructure and rather in putting that back into their own business, right? So with that said, I'm going to invite my colleague Larry to take over at this point and actually show you the product in action and show how you can leverage the product in your businesses.
Very good. Thank you, Kishore. Again, folks, my name is Larry McMahon. I'll be going through a high-level presentation of the NetSuite product today. And what you're looking at is a dashboard that a senior executive might have up on their screen. Now, the company I'm using today is going to be a company that is a distribution company. They do electronic devices such as cameras, handheld devices, and such. They may have a retail presence, a distribution outlet, where they're taking phone orders, emails. And they're also looking to expand their e-commerce capabilities. So today, what I'm going to do is go through a presentation for a company of that nature. And some of the key challenges that I'll be talking to will be this company is running multiple systems today, has a financial product, has a CRM solution, using Excel pretty heavily, has no real-time access to their data, and the solutions that they currently have are old and need to be upgraded but are version locked right now. Another key challenge that I'll be talking to is the simplicity of being able to update reports. One of the key challenges this company has is you need an IT resource to be able to create a search or report to pull information out of the system so they can use it. So with that, let's go ahead and get started and take a look at this company and run through some of the things that the NetSuite product can help with. Now, we are a full ERP solution in that we can help you manage your CRM solution, your order management, your inventory control, your financials. E-commerce is also part of our solution as well. Also marketing and customer service. That's all part of the suite, comes with the product. We are a web-based solution, so what you're looking at is delivered purely over the internet. There's no special components that need to be loaded. And you just need a browser, so no matter where you are, whether you're at a trade show, whether you're out doing sales on site, whether you're at home, as long as you have access to the internet, you have the ability to go in and see your applications and see the data. Now, this screen right here, I've logged in using an email address and password that uniquely identified me coming in as the senior executive for this company. That then determine what permissions I have. Can I look at financial information? Can I see across the organization? Can I drill into records? Can I run certain reports? All of that is controlled within my permissions. Now, each user actually has the ability to go through and tailor their own dashboard as well. So what you're looking at here, the user can go in and personalize their dashboard. See things shifted off to the right. I've got this little add content portlet. And in here, the user chooses the components that they want to have up on their screen. You can also add in what we call report snapshots. Now, these are graphical representations of our existing reports. And there's over 200 reports, of which there's about 60 of these snapshots already pre-configured for you. And again, it's just a matter of turning on the ones that are important to you and add those to your screen. Now, you'll notice that there's custom ones as well. So the ability to add in your own custom reports and snapshots, it's really straightforward and something that you can do easily without needing an IT resource. Now, once you have your components, just drag and drop, place the components on your screen, and that's where it will stay. So it's really straightforward, very simple. The information you're looking at is being presented in real time. So you're not waiting for things to be updating. As an inventory transaction is processed, the information is being presented in real time. Now, we are a web-based solution, and one of the things Kishore alluded to is our ability to provide you upgrades. And in here, I'm going to open up this little tab here. What this is showing you is this database actually was recently upgraded to 2013.2. Every user will have this notification up on their desktop, so that you'll know that an upgrade is coming. All of your current changes, your custom fields and records and scripts, anything that you have within the solution is upgraded automatically. So nothing breaks when we upgrade the system. This happens twice a year. You'll get major upgrades. You get notification about 45 to 60 days in advance, and you get an ability to see what's coming and actually use it. You get video help and online help, so you have a sense as to what's coming. In fact, this is the new feature just coming out for iPhone capabilities for NetSuite. Now in here, the information that's being presented to you is all in real time, as I mentioned. And I've got key performance indicators up here. I'm looking at my sales, my profitability, receivables, and so on. Well, let's go ahead and drill down into the details. So all of our searches and reports all have the ability to drill down into the underlying details. So from here, I can drill again, go down into a particular customer, and take a look at all of the sales for that particular customer. Click again will open up an actual invoice. This is all real-time information. This is true whether I'm in a search, whether I'm in a report, maybe from an income statement, taking a look at financial data. I can drill down into departmental expenses and see the result of that. But this is the actual invoice for this particular customer and all of the details around it. Did we provide them a discount? Did we collect sales tax on it? How did it ship? This is the actual invoice itself. So let's go ahead and go back to the main screen. And we now have our key performance indicators. You can see we can present information graphically. We also have this concept of a workbench, which enables you to see a logical flow as to what programs do I access when I'm in, let's say, the revenue area, or if I'm in payables, what are the most common things that I will run in the payables area. So it gives you a guidance as to what programs would be most appropriate to you. And down below you can see my financial metrics, so I can do my comparisons, take a look at this week, this month, last month, this quarter, and see information in relation to how the company is trending. Lots of different ways to present information graphically, like you're seeing here, sales by item, weekly new business information, my sales information, how things are performing. Again, being presented all in real time with the ability to click and drill down into the details. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to change roles into a salesperson's roles. One of the things I'll point out is the information on the screen will change. The colors will change. It'll all be personalized to that individual user. So let's go ahead and make that change. We'll switch over to the sales rep. See very different colors, very different information being presented. Got an ability to present mapping information. I've got a custom search up on my desktop looking for new leads that have come in today. What are the things I need to focus my attention on as a salesperson? I've got my open estimates, phone calls I need to take care of, tasks I need to follow up on. I can see what my pipeline is. I can view my sales. I can see what my sales are by customer. So this is all current information that's being presented to the user. And you can see it's all personalized to this individual user. My key performance indicators are focused on me as a sales rep and not the overall state of the business like the senior exec. So from here, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go into a customer record and talk a little bit about the information that we track on our customer records. How I'm going to get there is I'm going to use global search up top here. I'm going to type in Smith Supplies. As I continue to type, the information is filtered. I can also narrow the search down to say I just want to see customer information. So I can see Smith Supplies. Now in here, this will be everything related to this particular customer. All of their contacts, their address information, other things such as their emails. This would be all of your communications. We have a bidirectional interface with Outlook. So all of your emails, whether it's coming from the accounts receivable department, your inside sales, your marketing organization, all of those communications are stored here. You can also track documents, physical documents like contracts, PDFs, Excel spreadsheets. Any document can be attached and then is visible and can be controlled by permissions as to who has access to it. Other information in here would be their activities, address information, their sales information, such as the opportunities, all of their transactions that have been processed, every item that's been purchased, and so on. You can also go in and see financial information. If you grant them permission, you can see their current aging, their credit limit, their current pricing level. Are they a taxable account or not? Do they have credit card information on file? Do we offer group or item-specific pricing for this customer? Everything you want to know about this customer is in this record, and a complete audit trail of it. So let's go ahead and start working with this particular account. And we could go through, we could create an opportunity, we could create a task, a phone call, an event, do the follow-ups that a salesperson would do. We'll go ahead and create an opportunity, which will then flow this through the sales process. Now, it's not required to create an opportunity. You can go straight into a sales order. So if I'm more in a retail environment where I'm doing a cash and carry type business, this could be a cash sale. But in this case, I'm just going to go through a typical sales process that a sales rep might have, walking it through the opportunity cycle, calling up a particular item. We can go in and type in the item if you know what it is. I want to put in a Kindle. I can see my availability at this particular location. I can see the quantity that I'm shipping, the pricing that this customer is entitled to, and then the dollar amount. Now in here, I also provide an upsell capability. Now this is handled automatically within the system, where we keep track mathematically of every time this item is sold. These are other items that are typically sold at the same time. This information can be made available to your sales organization and also extends out to the e-commerce portal, so it can recommend certain items to be purchased at the same time. And that way the sales organization should be able to sell more product. So we can go ahead and save this opportunity. You can see the opportunity is identified. We're at 10% probability. You'll make your phone calls. You'll walk it through the sales process. And then you can go ahead and convert this up to a quote. You'll notice I'm not rekeying any of the information in. Everything is copied over from the original opportunity. Pulls in all of the details, the item that I'm selling, the pricing, the quantity information. We can save this quote. We can print it, email it out, and even fax it directly out to the customer. Now that we have our quote, the quote could go out, get signed. As it comes back, we can actually attach that as a physical document to the file, so you can have a record of the signed quote. But what we're going to do is just move forward, say this is going to become a sale, click on the sales order, copies all the information from the quote. I have the ability to go in and edit this as well, so maybe they want additional product or change the pricing. I can edit this record at this time. But this can be saved, can be printed, can be emailed, can be faxed, and acknowledgement could go out directly from here. So we now have our sales order, and we're actually in a position now to go through, do the fulfillment on this particular sale. I'm going to change roles over to a warehouse operation role, and we'll go through and we'll fulfill this order. You see the dashboards are very different depending on the user as I'm coming in. I can see my late shipped orders down here. I've got orders scheduled to ship this week, so I can see what my expected load is. Over here, I've got a little reminders. Now, these are things that are building up on my queue. It's a form of an alert. We also provide full alert capability, sending emails out based on any criteria within the system, so everybody knows what they're supposed to be working on, or will be notified of things that are important to them based on their role. So here, I've got my orders to fulfill. Let's go ahead and go in and do the fulfillment. Right at the top, I have my sales order that we just created. You can see all of the orders here. I can do bulk fulfillment. We can also go through and do the full pick, pack, and ship process, printing the pick lists and packing slips. I'm just going to shortcut it for today and go straight into indicating that we're going to ship it. Let's go ahead and do the fulfillment on it. This is going to call up the order, the details on the order. Where am I pulling this from? Pulling it out of my San Francisco location. Now, I actually have 500 on hand, but only 360 or so that were available. I'm going to go ahead and relieve my inventory of this one, and we can go ahead and ship it out via FedEx, UPS, or USPS, which are directly integrated within our product. In this case, it's showing FedEx. This can go out and actually print labels. Let me go ahead and change this over to UPS, and we'll go ahead and say it's going to be UPS ground. Now, this is going to require me to put in some additional information, but I'll be able to go out and get a real-time rate. And we'll go out and grab the real-time rate from UPS. Then we can go ahead and just save this, and this will then go out, relieving my inventory, and will go out on the truck. So that was my fulfillment. Over here, this is actually the last records that I've worked on. Let me go back to that fulfillment, and I'll show you the UPS label. So we'll go ahead and print the label. This is the actual UPS label that would have been created for that particular shipment. And let me close that down. There we go. So we now have our order fulfilled. It's in a position where I can now invoice it. Let's go ahead and move over to the accounts receivable side and see what the AR clerk is going to see. So over here, we're going to log in as the AR clerk. Different dashboard components. You've got a nice little workbench, which gives an idea of what are the things that need to be worked on next, or what reports can I run. Up top here, I've got my sales orders that are ready to be invoiced. We'll go ahead and go straight into that reminder. Down below, you see a list of all of the orders that are ready to be invoiced. I'm going to focus on this one, which is the one we just processed. We'll go ahead and invoice it. This is going to tie back to the original sales order. It's going to show you the items that was sold, the quantity, the dollar amount, the shipping charges, handling, was there sales tax. We also have integration to sales tax capability so you can import your sales tax information. That's a free service that we provide. But here we'll go ahead and create the new invoice. Again, this could be printed, emailed, and faxed directly out from here. So we've now completed the cycle as far up to the point where we've got the invoice going out. We can then go ahead and process the check that comes in against that particular invoice. Like we can go ahead and call up that invoice. You can go ahead and accept a payment on it. So whether this is being paid via a check, a credit card, wire transfer, all those capabilities. You can see all of the details for this particular client has a number of invoices that are outstanding. I'm just going to go ahead and accept payment on this one order. You determine the different methods that you receive payment on. We'll go ahead and say it's a check. So we received a check, and we're going to go ahead and apply the check to this particular invoice. This is indicating where I'm putting the funds. In this case, I'm putting it into my checking account. I can put it into undeposited funds for deposit later. And we'll go ahead and hit save. So this has now processed that payment. So from the placement of the order, walking it through the sales cycle, going through the fulfillment, creating the invoice, and now accepting the payment. You can see how simple and easy it was. Everything is integrated together. I have details as to what has actually occurred. I can go back and take a look at what invoice was this related to. From the invoice, I can go back to the sales order and see all that information. So you see here, we'll go back to the invoice. See, it's tied to that sales order. These are all logical click points that I can go back to. I can go back to the sales order. On the sales order, there's a history, an audit trail. It's also a little timeline that shows you the process that this went through. So we went opportunity, estimate, sales order, fulfillment, invoice. And you can see how everything is connected together here as well. So again, very easy to find the information you're looking for. If you know one piece of the puzzle, you can find anything. Now that was the sales process, going through the CRM side. The next thing I wanted to go through with the time we have left is how is that item, how is it created, and how is that then presented within the web store? And then we'll get into some reporting capabilities. So very simply, let me go ahead and flip over to, actually let me go into an administrator. We'll call up that Kindle item. We'll go ahead and use global search to find it. And we'll go into the item and show you how that item is set up. See the image of the item, all of the details of how it's stored. These are all of the locations of where this item is stored, the current value of my inventory. And how is this item then going to be planned? How do I replenish my stock? So I can actually establish reorder point levels and preferred stock levels. We also have an advanced planning engine. We call it demand planning, which allows you to forecast and will allow you to go through and, oh, my battery's running low. Oops, sorry, guys. Forgot to plug in my laptop. So the demand planning engine allows you to go through and do a forecasting model and an MRP engine, which will actually go through and plan your components, taking into consideration your lead times, your existing supply and demand, and we'll then actually go through and create planned orders for you to go ahead and release. So lots of different capabilities on the inventory side. Also, how is this item then going to be presented within the web store? And on what web stores will it be presented? So all this then flows into the ability to sell and position that same item via the web store. Let me go ahead, go in as an e-commerce manager, and I'll show you what the web store looks like. We'll just do a quick preview of the web store. Now this is the web store for this company, and you see down below, here's the featured product. Here's my Kindle Fire. I can see the quantity price breaks. As I log in, it will actually identify the pricing that I'm entitled to. I can do that same sale that I went through, but doing it via the web store. If I click into it, it shows me additional details. You can see it's all tied into social media. I can see the specifications, product reviews, other related items for it, my availability by location. And you have the ability to go through and process this. So let me go ahead and close that window down. And then we'll go back into the admin role. Oh, let's go into finance, actually. We'll wrap up with some financial information. So in here, as the controller, I can see what my AR aging summary is. I can see my sales, expenses, my profitability, lots of different ways to present information graphically and see how the company is performing. Let me go ahead and run an income statement. You can see a financial report and the ability to see that same information broken out by, let's say, department and department hierarchy. And then the ability to go through and actually drill down into some of these expenses. So what is this insurance expense? What's this freight and delivery, miscellaneous expense here, meals and entertainment? Let's go ahead and click and drill down into it. I have a couple of expense reports sitting out there. Let's go ahead and click out to that expense report. You can see all of the details on that particular expense report. Again, all real-time information being presented. Now, the last thing I want to do just to wrap up is to go through and show you how easy it is to modify an existing report. Again, we provide a couple of hundred reports ready for you to use. You can create your own reports. And this is one of the biggest challenges we find is very difficult to get the information out of the system and needing to rely on IT to do that. But let me go ahead and I'll just run a simple sales report by customer. We'll go ahead and take a look at, this is that same report that we saw at the very beginning of the presentation that was populating that key performance indicator metric. From here, what I'm going to do is actually customize it. This is the data dictionary. This is the report builder engine. And you can see it's really straightforward. You can see all of the fields that are available to me. I don't need to know a SQL to go ahead and create it. I'll go in and I'm going to grab a custom field, and I'm going to preview that same report. So here's that same sales report now with industry type on it, which is a custom field. Let's go ahead and now sort it by that custom field. So this is now that same sales report, same information, but now sorted differently. Let's go ahead and collapse it. So this is my sales report, now broken out by industry type and subtotaled by each industry type automatically. All of this with the ability to click and drill down into the underlying details. So you can see how easy it is to go through. Each of your users will be able to create their own reports and searches and be able to see the information that they need to see. Now, hopefully this gave you a good idea of some of our capabilities within the NetSuite product. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and turn it back over to Kishore to do the wrap-up.
All right. Thanks, Larry. That was very helpful. Hopefully our guests also found it as helpful as I think. So we did have quite a bit of activity on the chat and Q&A panel. So I'm going to pass a couple of questions your way, right? Then we can talk through those. Is that okay, Larry? Ready?
Very good, yeah.
All right. So the question is coming from a gentleman, Michael Westerman, and the question he's asking is, besides revenue recognition, can your accounting package handle revenue deferrals for contracts? So,
I'm not certain I understand the question, but do we do revenue recognition? Certainly. Do we do contracts? Yes. Can we defer revenue? Yes. So.
That's what I was going to say, but that's what I gathered from, if you take these three pieces separately, the answer is yes.
Sure.
So, Michael, if you are hearing this and if you have follow-up, feel free to put them in the chat session. The other question which came from another attendee is integration, related to integrations. How does this system integrate? They integrate with third-party applications, if at all, right? So we do support integrating with third-party applications that you might be running. We have a lot of partners who build connectors, if you will. If you go to our website, you'll see them. We work with vendors like Informatica, Celigo, who build Dell Boomi, so on and so forth, who have built custom integrators or connectors to connect with NetSuite and a lot of external systems that are available out there that you would likely be using in your businesses. So the short answer to the question is yes, we work with third-party vendors who have built connectors on top of the Suite Cloud platform integration tools that we provide as part of the NetSuite platform itself. So Larry, anything else that you'd like to add in response to that in terms of integrations?
Sure. Yeah, we are a cloud platform. We have open APIs. So the integration to our solution is straightforward. We support a number of different technologies to do the integration. And like you were suggesting, we do have a large partner community that provides solutions that are already pre-integrated, many of them, as well as other vendors that specialize in doing integration.
Very good. Let me go down. So this is an interesting question that you might be able to answer is, how did you get the transaction map to show at the bottom? This looks very different from what we have. Is this something new, or what's the magic?
Yes, the data set that I'm using today does show some of the new capabilities that we're extending into the product. So correct. Yeah, those are some new things that were added into my demo account. Hopefully you found it helpful.
Yeah. So, Denise, this is for you. The question is, will you have a recorded version of this webinar available after the live webinar is over? Can we get access to the slides and also review the demo again?
We'll be posting the demo on our website and sending out a recording of the webinar in about a week's time.
Okay. And another question that came up is, if we want only HR, AP, and GL modules, is it possible, or do we have to go for the full suite? All right.
Yeah, we do sell it as a suite. You can buy financials separately, but typically we sell it as a suite. So those are things that we don't really have a typical module approach like some other vendors. We sell CRM by itself if you want. We can sell financials by itself if you want. Typically we sell the suite, the entire product.
Okay. Another question that came in is about the size of companies in your target market. So I'll take first shot at it, and then Larry, feel free to add as you see feel appropriate. So NetSuite is a company, like I described early during the presentation. It's good for any size company, really, from a very small company to large enterprises. We have customers and across the spectrum, companies with less than 10 employees, all the way to Fortune 500 companies like Qualcomm, Williams-Sonoma, Land O'Lakes are using NetSuite to run their business. So it's really anywhere in that spectrum, right? So we have customers in all these different market segments, and people use them in various components. I mean, to tag on what Larry said about the suite, you can buy the suite, you can use the components that are most appropriate for your business needs. You can also integrate with what you already are using. So there's a wide variety of customers. You can actually go to our website and look at our customers list, and it gives you a pretty good idea on the types of industries that our customers come from, whether it is from manufacturing, wholesale distribution, retail, commerce, software, so on and so forth. So there is a wide spectrum across any dimension that you look at, right? So this is a question, Larry, I was wanting to know if you have an idea. Is historical information available for reports without accessing archived data? Is looking for annual comparisons for several years? Assuming that obviously you've been using NetSuite for several years.
Yeah, so if the data is within the system, it's available for a multi-year search. If you're referring to data that is outside of NetSuite, which almost sounds like when you're referring to archived data, we do have some partners that specialize in that, where you can pull in data from outside of NetSuite into reporting tools and compare it to NetSuite data.
Okay. The question, another question is related to inventory management, and the question is, will the inventory setup handle serial numbers, kitting, attributes, etc.?
We do. Yes, we do provide lot serial control. I just scratched the surface today, so landed cost capabilities. We also support matrix-type items, which are items that have different variants, different variations, like clothing, size, style, non-inventory items, service items, assemblies, kits, pricing groups. There's quite a variety.
So this is again related to, I think, manufacturing. Does your system include core management? We are a distributor who buys and sells items with cores.
Yeah, cores are a different animal, where you're actually taking a product back and trying to either work or put that back into inventory. There are some solutions that we have worked with customers that can provide a core business. There are a few little tweaks that we have to make to it in order to accommodate the core, but yes, we can work with it.
Is it possible for us, I don't know if you can do it right now. Can you give us a quick glimpse of your item master setup screen? Is it possible to do that? Larry?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you want to take control back for a second and show them so they get the answer?
Probably would help just maybe going into an existing item, as I'm not certain as to what the goal is here, but this is an example of our inventory screen for a particular item, and all of the details around this particular item. How is it stocked? Is it a drop ship item? Is it a special order? Am I tracking landed costs? Is there a shipping cost, a handling cost? What's the item weight? What costing method? We use LIFO, FIFO, average, standard, and specific costing for lot and serial controlled items. So, Kishore, I'm not certain, was there a specific thing that we wanted to highlight, or?
Yeah, they just wanted to see let me go back to the screen, and they just wanted to look at a item master setup screen. So I think that should be fair enough for now. But if they have specific questions, it's from Sean. Sean, if you have more detailed questions, please feel free to reach out to us again, and we'll be able to get more specific questions and answers to you. Okay. So another question was about managing multiple companies with a single subscription to the suite. If so, does it allow one user account across each company, or does each company require a different user login for the same person? So is my assumption in saying, can we use this something like NetSuite One World across subsidiaries? That's how I'm understanding this question. Is that kind of what you're getting at, Larry? When they say, can you manage multiple companies with one subscription?
Yeah, the way I'm interpreting the question, it does sound exactly like OneWorld, correct? So OneWorld does provide multi-company capabilities within a single instance. And yes, I can have a user that goes across all instances, all subsidiaries. So they log in as one person, and then it's all permission-based. What do they have the ability to see and do across these subsidiaries? So like the CEO would have the ability to go across and see all of the sales information. The CFO would have the ability to see all the financial data going across the entire organization. Items are shared, so there's reporting that I can, at a single click, do a consolidated income statement looking across my entire organization. So very powerful capability. Again, over a third of our businesses right now are running OneWorld. So we're definitely moving up market, going after much larger companies.
All right. Let me see what else is a question that makes sense to the combined audience. But if we did, I just also wanted to let you know that I'm trying to pick questions that are of value to the broad audience, but rest assured that your questions are being captured, and we will revert with specific answers to your specific questions. So please do not feel offended if I did not get to every one of the questions here. We will get back to you with responses to your questions. I'm just trying to pick ones which are of which would have broad-based interest. Can you talk a little bit about your product customization capabilities? Is it possible to customize to accommodate various business-specific needs? Larry.
Well, there is a lot of capabilities in the product to add new fields. I can modify all of the forms. I can add new tabs. All of that is done without any programming. So these are things that an administrator would have the ability to do. And you actually raised a good point, something that I had overlooked. We do also provide workflow capabilities. So the ability to go through and actually create a unique business process, a graphical tool that allows you to go through and drive your business processes and move them into our application. So our applications will now behave as you are dictating based on your workflow. This is part of our architecture. It's built in. Again, it doesn't require any programming to do it. Where searches and reports are really easy, this is a little bit more difficult, but something that you definitely can learn. There's a class that we provide, and it just identifies what is the process. So this is going to be a quote. There's an email that's going to go out as it relates to this quote. If it's over a certain threshold, it goes out for approval. These are buttons that are going to be displayed. This is what happens when it's approved. If it's declined, that's what happens. If it's greater than a certain dollar amount, it goes out to another layer of approval. And again, you define all of this. This can create records. It can create transactions. It can move a quote to a sales order. You can send out emails that say you need to approve this. So that's part of our architecture. It's our workflow engine. We call it SweetFlow.
Very good. Thank you. And another question, and I'm going to point to you to the website for that, but the question is, do you offer a pick, pack, ship demo, one that goes more in depth than the one today? And a quick answer to that is yes, we have a lot of demos. You can actually look at the product tour section on our website, and you'll find you fill in a form and get access to a bunch of different use case-based scenarios, and you can look at the product demos from that perspective. So yes, the answer is there are a lot more demos. Obviously, Larry chose a specific set of functionality to show, given that we have a fixed amount of time. But if you go to our website, you definitely are able to view a lot more different role-based, scenario-based demos which are specific to your needs, right? And one other question that I wanted to talk about was the benefits metrics that came up on the slide presentation. So we did get them from a couple of different research points that I shared. Nucleus Research had one, and a couple of customers actually, when we do customer case studies, they gave us feedback on how they saw the improvements. So we definitely have some of these data available on our website. Whatever is definitely publishable is definitely available on our website. So feel free to reach out to us, see if we can provide more specific answers, right, to your questions. Now, we are almost up at the hour. Jennifer, I don't want to hold it up, but it's 10:59, and I'll take one last question. Larry, this might be for you. It looks like your system will handle our inventory setup, Frank says, but what about manufacturing, BOMs, production reporting, production demand, so on and so forth? Can you handle all of that?
We can. If we do have manufacturing capabilities, it wasn't on the list of things to show today, but definitely can provide support for a manufacturing organization with routings, work centers, bills of materials, material we're used. Be happy to go through a customized demo with you.
Excellent. So it brings us to the top of the hour, and so I'm going to pass the control and microphone back to Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you very much. So feel free to take away from here.